I'm out this morning to just see this beautiful work in progress with all these fence posts in. Makes me happy. Chilly morning here. It's in the mid 40s. Sounds like all the chickens did all right though, which they do. I'm gonna move them this morning. It's not Monday. It's not technically time yet, but they're really tearing up the ground where they are. So I'm gonna move them, put them on some fresh ground. But yeah, chilly morning, but that's all right. I'll warm up as I get working. That's what happens. And you can see they're chewing this up pretty good. Starting to dig their moon craters. So we'll get them moved. It's the same with the girls in the big coop. You can see that area over there is becoming very disturbed. I think that if you I keep cycling them through the same ground like every 10 weeks. I think that if you do that, they have their familiar areas that they immediately go to and start digging. And I think the ground is, even with 10 weeks in between, it's less resistant to the chickens scratching and digging. I think you got to find a way to keep putting them on new ground that hasn't seen them before, because it's harder for them to turn it up, and they don't know exactly what they want, so they don't go run into the same spots, and it'll last longer. So I'll try putting them someplace new. I mean, I got plenty of space to do that, so I'll give it a try. Got the Australorp set up. I did something a little silly. I built their pen to end at the door to the old chicken tractor, which is uncovered, but it's secure. And it looks like they're thinking about going in there. We'll see how that, well, I guess they're gonna go in there. Tall grass, probably lots of little frogs and crickets and stuff. They're gonna love that. And then the big coop, I really just moved from this side over to this side. And so they got a couple of trees that they can dig at the base of. I got the little girls in with them. We're not that far from letting the little girls go in with their big sisters here. Last night I came out to just check on everybody, and they were all perched. So they're all sitting on the rails, just huddled against each other. And that's a good sign, because, you know, that's how they sleep inside the coop together. So now what I'm gonna do is actually rake out this area over here, try and smooth out some of the disturbance that they did here. Garden's looking good. Still got some stuff growing. Babies in the brooder this morning did great. Was down into the 60s in there, even though I had 2 bulbs burning. But they were just fine. They were huddled under their 1 bulb and happy to see me. That's better. Doesn't take too much effort if you do it right away when you move them off. Yeah. I've been working on setting the posts. I got a late start today. It's taken a little time. Just want to make sure they're straight. I'm leaning on the line there. But I got a few of them in, but man, I just jacked up that second one. It's not even close to being on the line. But it's the buddy post, and I worked with like a metal post. A pipe, metal post. It's called a pipe, with a steel pipe as the cross member here, and then I still got to run the cable that'll be cinched tight to give it the extra support. But I didn't even get that straight, and I mean, look at that. I'm not even close, but doing the best I can here. It's not going to be perfect. But I'm getting a bunch of these in, and you know, they're actually going all right as I go down the line. I think I just got nervous about doing those first 2 posts because I didn't want to screw up the corner post and the support, and so by worrying about it, I screwed it up. Ever happen to anybody else? Well, it's 40 degrees this morning. So it feels a little more like winter, especially here in Florida. And it's, but I'm back on the fence line. We got rain forecast for the next couple days, and I'd really like to get these posts fully set. Should be able to do that no problem today. Had a couple of days in a row with late nights and early mornings. So feeling a little tired, but that's all right. It's the only thing that does is it really, such an old man. It makes my arthritis flare up. So my hands and stuff, they don't feel so good, but yeah, we'll get warmed up and things will start clicking. My oldest took pity on his dad and came out here to help. Not a big fan of being on the camera.
No, I never was.
You're doing great, bud. All right, Joe's filling in the last hole on the last post that we ran there. And so the next thing, T-posts. And they're gonna go every 12 feet, starting from the last wood post, then at 12-foot intervals from there all the way to the other end. And then what we'll have to do is put in a corner post at the end before we run anything, but that's still a little ways off. So time to get after T-posts. All right, now that I'm all the way at the end of this with the wood post, set a nail, and then connected my line to that just to make it shorter, a little easier to manipulate than going all the way down 600 feet. I know it's not perfect, it could introduce error, but now I'm gonna just do 12 feet. Every 12 feet, I'll do a T-post. Boom, 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 all the way to the end. I know what I want to do with this. So I start by marking up 2 feet and I just put a black line, and then I'll drive the post in until I'm level, that hits the ground level, and then I'm done. So it's right at about 4 feet 5 inches sticking out of the ground. Here's an interesting thing. This is a 6.5 foot T-post. That's how it's sold, right? 6.5 foot. When you measure it, it's actually 6 feet 5 inches. I don't know what it is about the construction industry where nothing is what it says it is. You go measure a 2x4, it's not really 2 inches by 4 inches, right? And a 6.5 foot T-post, at least this brand, is 6 foot 5, not 6 foot 6. So that means that every 77th T-post that they manufacture is free to them, right? If they're selling 6.5, but they actually make it 6.5, they get that extra inch of material. Every 77th post is all free material that's being paid for by others. So maybe that's how they make their profit, I guess. But the idea is that the fencing, the woven field fence that I've got from Red Brand, is 47 inches high. Again, why would you go to 4 feet? Anyway, so that's right here. So that leaves me this amount sticking up on the top. And if eventually I want to switch over, not switch over, but like add a post for an electric fence to run the whole perimeter, so I can just connect to that instead of having to carry the solar energizers around, I can do that here. So that's good. So I'm just going to do a whole bunch more of these all the way down the line, every 12 feet. Okay. Transitioned over to T-post. And kind of run all the way back. So now I'm just going to roll up this line and get it out of the way. I'll tell you, this this fence line could not be more different than when I started this in terms of its physical location. I knew the corners, but boy, until you clear your path and open it up and then run a string from corner to corner, you don't really know what that line is. Your eyeball is just, I don't know, people probably do surveying for a living, they can trust it. But man, I'll tell you, I would not have imagined that the fence line runs the way it does here. There's a couple spots it's going to be real dicey getting the fencing material through there, but they'll manage. So, all right. Good stuff.